Hey everyone, and welcome to Boston Autoblog. Normally when I show up to a dealership, I know exactly what car I'm going to film. I schedule these reviews out at least days in advance to give the dealerships some notice, but also give myself some time to plan out what I'm going to film and talk about. Well, today something unusual happened. So I showed up last week to do a review of a Toyota Camry XSE, and today they gave me the keys to a TRD. Now, this actually reinforces what I was going to say about the Camry and what Toyota has done to the Camry nameplate. Now, let's think back to 2017, when the new generation first came out. And that was really a time for Toyota to really change what the Camry was all about. The Camry was a car that you took on a daily basis, really just an average consumer sedan. Well, as we've seen over the last few years, Toyota has made this car to be sporty, to be a fun daily driver. And the TRD takes that to the next level, as this is a car you can actually take to the track. Now, it's no secret that four-door sedans are on the way out, thanks to the domination of crossovers. However, many brands that compete with Toyota, and Toyota themselves, are trying to find ways to make four-door sedans very fun and enjoyable. And I think with the TRD, Toyota has found a way to create a car that's really fun and enjoyable to drive, but also still practical. Now, before I get in this review, I'd like to thank Ira Toyota in Danvers, Massachusetts, for allowing me to do this review. The link will be in the description below, so you can check out their extensive Toyota inventory. And so, without wasting any further time, let's get right in this review. When you think of the Toyota Camry, performance is probably not the first adjective you'd use to describe this sedan. In fact, most likely it's practicality and reliability that are the more accurate terms, especially when we delve into the history of the Camry nameplate. During the second half of last decade, Toyota began reinventing themselves as a fun manufacturer that wasn't hesitant to get creative with designs. As we've already seen with the RAV4 and Corolla, Toyota is bringing a unique style to all their vehicles, and the Camry TRD is no exception. As the future of four-door cars continues to look bleak, with Americans transitioning to crossovers, sedans have gradually progressed towards offering a sporty driving experience rather than being seen as a daily driver. It's no secret that consumers find SUVs appealing because of practicality. But with the Camry's revamped and aggressive appearance over the last few years, Toyota is offering an exciting alternative for car buyers who have no desire for joining current trends. Now, to better understand what the Toyota Camry means to the brand, we need to have a very quick history lesson here. And we need to rewind back to 2016.
We would dream about racing each other in Monaco.
Little did we know that commercial was going to set the tone for where we are today. To associate Toyota and racing in Monaco last decade was unthinkable. And yet, in retrospect, this was Toyota beginning to rebrand themselves, as today we have a Supra, GT86, and Camry TRD. However, what I find rather interesting is that even in 2016, when brands are really focusing on crossovers, Toyota used the four-door sedan as the face of their new transition. A transition away of being just a consumer brand to now a brand that appeals to car enthusiasts. And it really starts with the design language and the front fascia of the Camry. Building off some aesthetic design cues from last generation, the 2020 Camry provides a sense of detail up front with a contrasting gloss black trim and a honeycomb grille that's also found on XSE models. However, with the TRD, Toyota went a little further by adding a splitter to increase aerodynamics. The front fascia overall is far more masculine and less reserved than what you'd expect from the LE and XLE line. And by offering two different styles, Toyota is in a better position to entice new car buyers. On the TRD, you'll get LED headlights and daytime running lights, along with halogen turn signal indicators. Moving on to the side profile, this Camry is sitting on 19-inch TRD matte black alloy wheels, and catching my eye almost immediately was the red brake calipers, which match perfectly with the two-toned exterior. Setting this trim aside from the more domesticated Camrys on the road is the sports tune suspension, which will offer a driving experience never before seen by this car, along with a half-inch drop in ride height. Gloss black side skirts and side mirrors will help enhance the road presence, which will most certainly garner some attention by other drivers. Coming around back, it's impossible to not get drawn in by the rear spoiler, as clearly the years of participating in NASCAR has certainly influenced the overall design of this car to a certain extent. Letting you know this isn't your parents' Camry, a TRD catback dual exhaust will likely surprise you with a nice throaty tone that we've never seen from this family sedan before. Just like up front, you'll get LED taillights with halogen turn signals, and rounding out the rear, an aggressive yet sporty diffuser completes the look of the TRD. For performance, the Camry TRD is powered by a 3.5-liter V6 engine that puts out 301 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque, and is paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. With all this talk of performance, the Camry still retains some economical practicality, as you can expect to receive 22 miles per gallon in the city and 31 miles per gallon on the highway. For the drivetrain, right now Toyota only offers front-wheel drive, but with the 2020 Camry receiving all-wheel drive as an option, that may be something we see for the TRD as well. More importantly, with a base price of just over $31,000, the TRD is providing decent power and aggressive styling at an affordable cost. However, you will have to make some sacrifices for the interior. Inside, you're greeted by soft text leatherette seats with fabric inserts and TRD embroidery for both the driver and passenger. The driver's side is power adjustable, which the passenger will have to manually adjust their seating position. In front of you, in the center of the analog gauges, is a digital display that'll provide information such as fuel economy, tire pressure monitoring, and you can also turn off some safety systems from this screen. For the TRD, you will get a leather-wrapped steering wheel. Moving over to the infotainment system, you'll get a 7-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. However, you won't receive onboard navigation. The screen is what you'll find in lower trims, and to receive the JBL sound system along with the upgraded 8-inch touchscreen, you will have to go with the XSE. You'll get a rear backup camera, but if you're looking for additional safety systems, such as rear cross traffic alert, you'll have to spend a little more by going with the XLE or XSE. As we move down towards the center console, we continue to notice the sacrifices you'll have to make with the TRD, as you will only receive single-zone climate control and no heated or ventilated seats. However, the TRD is a performance and track-based car, so that's to be expected. You will get a USB input and 12-volt outlet, along with a cubby for your smartphone. And next to the gear shift lever, you'll find the drive mode selector, which I'd always have it in sport mode. And rounding out the front seating area, for the center storage compartment, there will be enough room for a smartphone and small items, along with 2 additional USB inputs. Now for passengers in the back, I have to be honest, I'm rather impressed with the amount of room I have. I adjusted the seat all the way back and I still have a few inches of room to work with. Now I'm 5'5", so obviously I'm not the tallest person out there, but if you're 5'8" or 5'9", you'd still be comfortable back here and not feel squished or cramped. But let's be fair. Now the middle seat, I always say, if you have 3 passengers, make sure the shortest person is in the center. Now, lately, over the last few weeks, I reviewed cars where the middle hump is very aggressive. However, this is rather doable, even at my height. So if you do have someone around 5'5" in the back seat, put them in the center. And even on a shorter drive, this could totally work. On longer drives, that's debatable. I don't know if I'd like to sit in this position for 3-4 hours, but this definitely works for sure. And then on the driver's side, I have plenty of room because I adjusted the seat to someone of my height. So I think what Toyota has done here, especially for this generation, they widened it out. They also lowered the roof line to a certain degree, and you add a little bit more of that shoulder room. So for all occupants of the vehicle, there's a little more shoulder room, there's a little more interior room, and I think everyone's going to enjoy that. It's going to be very comfortable, and I think that's one of the reasons why people still buy a Toyota Camry, even in the age of people buying crossovers. I also want to point out here that you do not get rear air vents or center armrest, and a lot of this is due to the fact that, well, this vehicle is track-oriented. It's built for the track, it's built for performance, and you just don't expect to see some of those extra comforts that you would find in an XSE or an XLE. However, what I do want to point out, though, is that, and you're going to see this with all vehicles in the Toyota lineup, they lower the rear seats to a certain degree, so you have extra headroom. So if you're around 5'10", 5'11", you won't have to crouch too much, you won't feel as cramped in terms of headroom, and that's one thing that really stands out to me about what Toyota does. They're focused on comfort for all passengers in the vehicle, including the driver, and with that added width to the vehicle, and despite having a lower roof line, Toyota didn't cut corners. They made sure that if you are taller, you're not going to have to crouch, you're not going to feel tight or cramped, and that is one very minor feature that stands out to me about this vehicle. Now for rear cargo room, you're going to find 15 cubic feet of rear cargo space, which is right in line with most of its competitors. Now, we all know that crossovers are the more practical option, so if you have boxes, you're always carrying something with you or on the go, obviously you're going to want to go with the RAV4. However, if you're just a car enthusiast or just someone who wants to have a fun sedan to drive around, you're going to have plenty of room for groceries. And what stands out to me, though, is just how wide the opening is. So if you have bigger products, like a bigger box, you can definitely fit it right in. Obviously, height's going to be an issue, but when it comes to width, that won't be a problem at all. So if you are, maybe even modifying this car, you're going to be able to fit some of those products, and you're going to be able to fit some of those parts that you're going to be put on your car later on. But this is definitely enough for daily driving purposes, and especially for groceries and smaller items. Now, at the end of the day, whether it's the XSE or TRD, what Toyota is providing here with the new Camry is a sense of fun, a sense of enjoyment, something that we never really experienced with Toyota in the past, and really vehicles in this segment in general. My generation, people around their mid-20s, will look at Toyota, or used to look at Toyota, as being a brand that didn't know what fun was all about. The Toyota Prius was the face of the brand, essentially. We saw it as being a hybrid. We saw that Toyota was going in that hybrid direction. And then, all of a sudden, Toyota made some significant changes. They decided to be a brand that was all about fun and enjoyment, a brand that really was intriguing. You don't really know what they're going to come out with next. That sense of, unpredictability is really helping this brand in a lot of ways, not only reaching out to younger drivers and younger consumers, but also car enthusiasts as well. The Toyota Supra, the GT86, now the TRD for the Camry and the Avalon. Who knows what they have planned in store later on down the road. All I can say is though, that ironically, out of all the brands that are out there right now, particularly in this segment, in this price range, Toyota is the one last bastion of hope that really makes us think that, there still is hope for the four-door sedan market, that we can still have fun behind the wheel of these cars, that this isn't just going to be an automotive industry where it's just crossovers. And I think when you take a look at the Camry and you look at the XSE and even the TRD, you have to sit back and smile. And having driven the 2018 XSE back a few years ago, it definitely put a smile on my face to know that I actually have a car, or I'm driving a car that is fun, that has leather seats, that two-toned exterior, but also optional red interior, which is just really nice. And also, of course, paddle shifters. And I think when you're offering that package at a price around $35,000 to $40,000, you really have to say, you have to tip your hat off to Toyota and just really admire and enjoy what they're doing right now. And as a car enthusiast, it definitely puts a smile on my face to see that Toyota is really focusing on the driver and the driving aspect, but also young buyers as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time.